Hello, everybody. Welcome to my sharing today, The Secret of the Cells. Discover the scientific breakthrough and the importance of redox signaling molecules. Okay, so let me first start by asking you one question. What are you looking for when you're here today to listen to me? Are you looking for an effective alternative solution for yours or your family's health problems? Or are you looking for a way to push the limits of your body in terms of anti-aging or physical limitations? Or are you looking for a new source of income in the current times of difficulty? Okay, let me share more about what I have to share today. Here, our product. First, let me share with you my medical issues. Okay, I took this medical test in 2017 in June 20. Okay, that was before I used a seer. Okay, and then I started a seer in 9th of February in 2018, 8 months later. And in 2 months' time, okay, I did another medical report, and you can see that my total cholesterol actually dropped from 6.11 down to 5.49. Okay, as we all know, February is the time of Chinese New Year. So while I was trying very hard to, keep myself healthy and not eat too much, but Chinese New Year very hard to resist lah. So I ate a lot of rubbish at that time also. So in terms of diet wise, I didn't change much. Okay, in fact, I was constantly trying to eat the keto diet, which is low carb, high fat diet, but my cholesterol actually dropped. So, and you can see on December 28, 2017, I actually did a HbA1c, which is the 3-month average for my blood sugar. It was 8.1. That was high. Okay, it also dropped a little, okay, to 7.8 by the time I did the test in April. So let me just share more about my own health issues before I started a seer. Okay, I have high cholesterol, high blood sugar, excessive dosage of psychotic medication for more than 20 years. Let me just explain about this psychotic medication. Basically, when I was 16, after my O-levels, I discovered that I have an aggressive brain tumor in my brain. It was so big that it's bigger than a ping pong ball, smaller than a tennis ball, and it took up about one quarter of my head space. So it actually affected my focus and my able to do things and my impulses, So I had like compulsive eating problems, gaming issues, so on and so forth. So I went to take this initiative of my own, okay, which may have been a very big mistake, to ask a psychiatrist if, do you think my brain tumor is the cause of all these symptoms I have? Do you think medication will help? And of course, the doctor who wants to earn money said, yes, it will help, okay, and started giving medication. And it was very unfortunate that in between, I changed to a doctor that was very unethical. He just added more and more medication to me. And then by the end of 10 over years, my condition was so bad that I have even more mood swings than before. Okay, and then my brain power has actually gone down. In primary and secondary school, my best subjects were maths and science. Okay, but after eating excessive medication for 10 years, I couldn't even do the 7 multiplication table. Okay, so even when I reversed the car, okay, after driving for 10 years, when I reversed the car at my highest point of medication, my car will be all slanted when I reverse park. Okay, so that means my senses and all this are all affected. And I was basically living like a living zombie because I just feel so dead every day when I wake up, stuff with all those medication. So I have excessive dosage of psychotic medication. I also have severe insomnia after eating all those medication, to the point where I was eating 7 pills a night. Okay, 3 pills is the doctor prescribed medication, which I took more than necessary because he said that one have no side effects. Okay, that one is Paxdom. And then I also went to take 4 more melatonin, the over-the-counter supplement to help with sleep, the jet lag pill. Okay, because I just couldn't sleep just with what the doctor gave me. Okay, so I ate up to 7 pills and I still turn until like maybe 3 or 4 a.m. before I can finally sleep. And of course, I mentioned mood swings, okay? And I also had the mummy's thumb through my excessive gaming with my iPad. Mummy's thumb, I think if some of the people who have given birth before, they may know this problem. Basically, is the excessive weight on your thumb so that there's a pain here at the nerve here. So there's no exact cure for this problem. The only cure the doctor will tell you is just to rest. But I couldn't stop playing my stupid iPad. So basically, they will give me one steroid injection, but the doctor didn't tell me that I will have to rest well because after the first injection, I cannot inject anymore. And the injection is not cheap. One injection is 1,000 Singapore dollars. Okay, so another issue that I often had was I had flu very frequently. I think at least once every 2 to 3 months. And every time when I have the flu, I had to go to see the doctor at least 2 or 3 times. So that means I was on antibiotics for 2 to 3 weeks before I can get myself cured from flu. This shows how bad my body was. I also have blocked eye arteries. I also have gastritis. I also have fatty liver with 2 cysts on top. And of course, I'm morbidly obese. So in this period of time, I started drinking a year. In 2 months' time after drinking, my cholesterol went down, my blood sugar went down, and in 9 months later, my sleeping was normalized. Okay, I have reduced compulsive eating. I don't have massive mood swings anymore. To give you one idea of how bad my mood swings were, right? If something triggers me off, at one point of time, I can be so upset, I can maybe cry in public. Yeah. So that's how bad those mood swings were, and I couldn't control my emotions at all. So, and then 9 months later, I actually stopped all my psychotic medication, including the sleeping meds, because I'm just sleeping naturally now. And I didn't have any issues with all these mood swings that I felt, oh no, I must quickly eat my medication, have you eaten your medication today because you're off, the kind of thing. I don't have this kind of problem anymore. Of course, there will still be small triggers like, somebody made me angry. I'll just be angry for a little while. And then the anger will just leave me easily. So much easier than last time where I will hold on to the emotion so strongly. Okay, I will share more about this emotional thing, why it's not something that can be controlled in when we have more time later. Okay, and for currently, at the moment now, my cholesterol has normalized, right? I don't have mummy's thumb. I'm much more energetic. Okay, so I hope that in time to come, all the other issues that is not highlighted in blue, I will resolve all them. So all those in blue on the left, you can see is already resolved. Okay, and then those that are not covered are still in process. So you can take a quick look of my last medical report was done last October lah. So all my cholesterol is normalized now. Okay, so the reason why I started with ASEA is not because of myself, but because of my mother. Okay, she actually had a minor stroke in July 2017. And it was a very, very difficult time for me because my mom, she is a very capable businesswoman. She retired, but she's very capable and smart woman, and she's really quite of a type A personality. Everything is done and quick and whatever. So, and then suddenly after her stroke, she actually had a lot of difficulties talking because the blood clot is at the spot where it controls expression. So the moment she want to tell me something, she couldn't say in full sentences. And if she gets agitated, she will be, the words just don't come out. And you can see her whole face turn like a red tomato. Okay, and I feel so frustrated for her, you know what I mean? And the thing here was that she also had very much difficulty staying awake the whole day. Okay, every morning at 9 a.m. she will come and tell me, say, oh, I must go to the market and prove that I'm okay. Okay, and then she would drive on her own. Yes, she started driving 3 months after her stroke. Okay, she drove on her own to the market, have a breakfast and whatnot, and come back in 2 hours time. By 11, when she climbed back home, she'll be so tired. She'll be sleeping the whole day until the next morning. Okay, maybe she'll climb up a little bit to eat a little bit of dinner, and then she'll crawl back to sleep all the way until the next morning. And then 9 a.m. again, she tell me, I want to prove myself again. Okay, so it was a very frustrating time for me that time. And then when I complained on Facebook, someone told me, say that my ex-colleague told me that, hey, you know, there's something that a lot of people in my church has been trying out, and it helped them a lot. Do you want to take a look? Okay, so when my mom tried the product, within 2 weeks was Chinese New Year. And then 2 weeks after she started drinking, I feel more and more frustrated because there was one day she keep on scolding me, say that I never buy this, never book buffet, never buy all the steamboat food for the Chinese New Year gathering. I must accompany you and go and buy the steamboat food now, because I'm very sure you don't know how to buy it. You know, the typical matriarch kind of personality. Yeah. So basically, I was driving from my place all the way in Balestier, all the way to Ang Mo Kio for 15 minutes. She scold all the way. By the time I reached Ang Mo Kio, I suddenly realized, hey, mommy, you long time never scold me leh. Basically, that's the fact. She finally could scold me even when she's agitated for 15 minutes non-stop. And the fact was that she accompanied me to buy those New Year foods at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and not at 11. Then I said, when do you start having the energy change? Then she thought, I think 1 week ago, I already have more energy. And by 2 weeks, she could scold me so smoothly, you know. And that 1 year, she started drinking in 2018. She actually managed to do many things, including traveling to Thailand, to Russia. Okay, and she also became the vice president of my Chinese Opera Society, and she was the one who organized for our end of year production, okay, in December, which is listed on this paper. Okay, at the same time when she was running this show, okay, getting this whole show organized, she was actually selected to be one of the Merdeka generation representative, okay, for Singapore last year. Okay, so they actually asked her to do a documentary recording around this time in December. And at that time, we were so busy with the show, they insist that, oh, you know, we have to include all those scenes when you're preparing for the show, you know. So we have to do this at the same time. So can you imagine, at the start of the year in February, she only had 2 hours of energy, and by December, she was running a whole show. She was doing a documentary recording from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And this is the end result. You can take a quick look. It's on YouTube. Okay, you can see anytime, just search for her name. 衣服掉在那边，然后帽子等下来。
Lim Soo-hyun is one of Singapore's most celebrated doyens of a very traditional art form, Teochew opera. The 65-year-old recently stopped acting and is still recovering from a stroke, but she's far from retired.
今天因为是最后一场的排练，看有少了什么东西，我们可以再去社里面拿。现在是做社长的责任比较大。
As newly...
Okay, so this is my mother's story. So when she made such a big change, and I finally saw the change in my body 9 months later, I can tell you the medical report I just found recently, because I never bothered to check. I thought, just check my weight or my blood sugar, I will know whether I have changed or not. So I didn't compare my blood results. I only knew that there's results in me when I drank for 1 year. Then I realized very clearly, even by the people around me, that, you know, something has changed in me, because I never bothered to do my own monitoring. So after these 2 results from my mom and myself, I had a very big so-called understanding, and this is one product that I must share with people. And she improved so much. In fact, last year in 2019, she even managed to go to Osaka University, to China to participate in the Shantou Shantou Opera Festival, okay, to do a full performance, okay. Before that, she couldn't even sing. She couldn't do the small, wayang gestures because all the small, minute details she had problem. And last year, she could do all of that. But it was very, very unfortunate. After she do these two major performances, we went to Hong Kong for holiday in November, and then we had a massive accident. Okay, just let me reset this one again. The page has some problem. Okay, so we went to Hong Kong and she actually had a fracture on November 13. This is how bad the fracture is. This is called an open fracture, where the bone was all splintered off and poking out of the flesh. Okay, this is considered a very severe fracture. And for her age, a woman that is the Merdeka generation, i.e. 60 plus, it is actually a very, very high risk fracture that could leave her disabled for life on one arm. Okay, so by right, this kind of operation, they must do the operation on the same day, okay, of the fall, but they couldn't because at the time, it was the Hong Kong protest time, they couldn't get the parts and they ran out of parts, I think because too many people are hurt during the protest. So she did her operation on 14th November. And then at that time, she was in great pain. This is a picture of her lying down. She managed to lie down after that excruciating pain was because when she was in great pain, I gave her a seer to drink. Okay. At first, she was so painful, even after the injection. And then plus they had to cast her. They actually the nurses actually just pressed her bone like that together to cast her up. And she was screaming like nobody's business. And then she was scolding me like, see lah, this is all your fault. Because you want to come to Hong Kong to see the protester. I'm like, we are there because she wanted to go for holiday. But she was so emotional that she was being illogical. I think many people would have this kind of experience with older people. Okay, when they start getting emotional, they start getting illogical, then they'll scold you left, right, center. So when I gave her a seer, when they finally decided that the operation will be tomorrow, she drank like at least 1/4 of a bottle down. And then she immediately could feel like a relaxation on her pain, on her shoulder, or the muscles, because it was cramping the whole day. The fall was at noon time, so she was in pain all the way until night time when they decided that she can drink and eat something. Okay, and then I applied the gel as well on her neck. And then I went out to get to double check if they can give her more painkillers, because she really calmed down, but she said, I'm still in pain, I need some painkillers. So I went out to ask. By the time I came back, she fell asleep. That was how fast it is when you are in an emergency situation like my mom. Okay, the effect will be very obvious when your body is in an emergency state. Okay, and then after her operation, which was not done very well, okay, because after I came back to Singapore, I asked my own specialist. He told me that this operation, the plates was too thick, too heavy for her age and her size. And then they also overdid things by putting too much screws at this space where there's supposed to be space for your joint to move. They go and put all the all the nails there. Okay, so the doctor said it is not wrong, but it can be done better kind of operation. Okay, so the operation was not good. And then we were discharged. She was discharged on the 16th. And on the 17th, we were scheduled to fly home. And that was the first miracle I saw with my mother, was that when we went into the Kris Flyer lounge to eat, suddenly she tell me, you can see 17 November, Mommy suddenly says she can raise her hand. Okay, I can show you this video of what happened.
OK，到这边需要扶一点点才可以上是吗 ？OK， 放下来。
Yeah. So this was her just 3 days after her operation. She could raise her hand, which is close to impossible, to the point where my Singapore specialist thought that her fracture was very minor when she saw this video. Okay, and told me, say, oh, I'm still in China lah, so you don't need to find another doctor. You just come and see me 1 week later. Okay, so when we went back to Singapore, we waited 1 week before we saw our specialist in Singapore. Okay, then he told me, oh my God, this fracture is quite thorough. And then the people also over-stapled. Okay, because usually the staples are not so much. They actually put 70 staples on her scar, okay, on her open wound. So when we went to see the doctor the second time, what happened to my mom was that she recovered so fast. The staples started sinking into her flesh, okay, and it sunk into her flesh. This kind of happening will only happen usually when people leave their staples there for more than 14 days. The usual protocol is you remove the staples after 14 days. Okay, on the 14th day, sorry, on the 14th day. You don't do more, you don't do less. 14 days is the protocol. But the doctor decided to remove all the staples on the 11th day because as you can see over here at this corner here, some of the staples are actually going into the flesh, okay? So he had no choice and had to break the protocol and remove the staples 3 days earlier. This means that she's recovering very fast, faster than the standard norm. Okay, that was the second miracle that we experienced. And then the third miracle we had was by the 28th day after her operation, she could actually spin her hands. 哇塞，哇塞！来拔剑。哇，好厉害哦！Okay, so by 17th of December, okay, we actually measured she improved by 35 degrees. Why is this counted the fourth miracle? Because she only did physiotherapy for 3 weeks because we saw the doctor late 1 week, right? So she only saw, we only did physiotherapy for 3 weeks. The physiotherapist told us at the start that, okay, our target is to improve her bending 10 degrees per week, okay? At the start, she could only bend 70 degrees. At the end, she bent 105, okay? And that was 5 degrees more than the optimal result they want. So that means she was performing beyond optimal, okay? And at the end of this physiotherapy in December, the physiotherapist actually told us that, hey, you know, I had a similar patient who had a fracture. It's a young man who went skiing when he was overseas. The fracture is quite similar to yours, but he could only achieve what you achieve in 6 months. But my mom, a 67-year-old, could do it in 3 weeks. So this is how powerful, right, ASEA has helped my mom. So maybe you'll be asking, oh yes, let me just show you this clip of her rehearsing with us at the end of December. Her arm is still a bit stiff, but you can see she can move it around easily, right? To do rehearsals with us, okay? So this is the power of ASEA, and it actually helped in many areas for my whole team, okay? I won't go through all of them because it's quite a lot. A lot of people want to know, okay, exactly what is this ASEA? Why can it do so many things? Okay, so this is what we're coming to now, discover ASEA. ASEA is actually a category creator. Reason because it is 10 to 15 years ahead of its time. And many scientists has declared that it is impossible to create this molecule outside of the body. Okay, why is that so? Okay, I'll explain more. Because one thing we know for sure, this ASEA is the single greatest health, athletic, and anti-aging breakthrough of our time. And ASEA is the only company in the world that can produce stable RSM, Redox Signalling Molecules, outside of the human body. And this is a globally patented cutting-edge technology that no country or no other company can just copy like this, because even the other scientists are still figuring out how to do it, okay? And like I said, it's 10 to 15 years ahead of its time. And people might ask me, you know, this kind of thing, market a lot one must be some vitamin mineral antioxidant must be the exotic juice, right? Or maybe alkaline water. But the answer is no, it is not. Acid redox is an entirely new category of science that is not covered by any other company in this world. Why is this so? First and foremost, redox signaling molecules inside our body was only discovered in 1998 to be a useful thing. Okay, before 1998, they thought redox signaling molecules was just a waste product in our cells. So it's only first recognized in 1998 with a Nobel Prize. Okay, and following that, since then, the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine was awarded to cell signaling research from 2011 to 2014, 2016 to 2017, and last year in 2019. Okay, you can see one of the top universities, we all know Cambridge, they are also researching on redox signaling. Their MRC lab, okay, is researching on redox signaling. And even the University of New South Wales, number 96 in the world rank, is also studying on redox signaling because they open up a redox signaling lab. So this is not something that, you know, we are creating out from nowhere. Okay, this is a new area of science that people are researching on. Okay, let me move on. Yeah. Okay, so even in Singapore, the Cancer Science Institute of Singapore also released a paper about redox signaling. Okay, and it was talking about redox as a modulator of stem cells. So it's not something that, you know, it is just out from nowhere. And the fact is that if you want to do some research, please don't go to Google, because Google is just a paid search engine. If you pay more, you can get all the nonsense up there. If you want to research, please go to somewhere else like pubmed.gov or Google Scholar and search about redox signaling. Okay, this particular screenshot I had here was a screenshot that I took in in March this year. And they listed here that there's 19,869. If you go into PubMed right now and search, right, you'll be looking at a number that is 33,217 or maybe more, because I took this number last week. Okay, research papers on redox signaling. So that means from March 2020's 19,869, it has increased 13,348 papers in the last few months. Okay, so this averaged out to 1,510 research papers on this new science found within our cells. Do you think the doctors that you have gone to, okay, would know about this new science that's creating more and more new information about it since 1998? Most probably not. So a lot of doctors may not know of this science yet because this is so new, okay? And the fact is that in the medical schools now, they are starting to put this into the curriculum. Okay, there's already more than 1,500 books on redox signaling molecules published. So what exactly is redox signaling molecules and how is that related to our health? Basically, this is the 16 different types of molecules that mediates cell communication and coordinate cell activities in all cells. Okay, in the body, redox signaling molecules is produced naturally by the mitochondria in all our cells by utilizing the salt and water in our body. Okay, and what it basically do is like, it is something like our cells' handphone network. Okay, so when the cells need to communicate and say, oh, you know, there's something wrong with my cell, they need to communicate with all the different parts of the cell. They also need to tell their neighbor cell, hey, I got something wrong. And they also need to inform the immune system call center that, hey, I'm something wrong. They also need to inform the brain that this cell has something wrong. Okay, but if let's say there's an emergency in this area and they are unable to communicate to the relevant parties, there is an emergency, what happens? Okay, then your cells will die. You will get sick. Okay, your situation will get worse and you're not recovering fast enough. And then when you don't recover fast enough, what happens next? Okay, your organ will die, or maybe you will die. That's the thing about the lack of communication. So what do cells need to communicate and coordinate? We must understand the basic processes of all cells include produce energy, so it can do what it's supposed to do, detect damage, repair, and replace. Okay, so this redox signaling molecule, the job scope of this molecule is to allow cells to communicate internally and externally to knock out all the rogue cells, the spot cells, the damaged cells, and also the invasive bacteria, virus, contamination, all the pathogens outside the body. Okay, so on and so forth. So, okay, this one is basically all the information. We'll just jump past this. Okay, so some people will ask me, since we produce our own redox signaling molecules, why do we need to replenish them? That's a very good question, because as we grow older, okay, including issues like age, stress, late nights, lack of exercise, bad food choices, pollution, and like for me, over medication, so on and so forth. All these factors will reduce the production of our RSM. Okay, so let us do some simple math. May I know when is your next 10? If you are 63, your next 10 will be 70. What does that mean? This means that you have lost 70% of the RSM production capability in your body. Okay, so the human body, this is the average human body, has 37.2 trillion cells. And in every second, 200 billion cells undergo protect, repair, and replacement processes. Okay, so if, let's say you have lost 70% of your RSM, this means that out of your 37.2 trillion cells, only 30% is functioning. How scary is that? And considering your environment, your situation might be even worse. Okay, so ASEA has actually funded millions of dollars in research, okay, to ensure that every single product has this redox signaling molecules in them, and it has certain effects, which I will shortly cover. There was a 8-week independent clinical studies done, okay, and they found that there was positive effects on our health in terms of the hormonal regulation, the immune system, the inflammatory response, the cardiovascular health, and the digestive system. Okay, that you may see, oh, there's what's all these numbers. These numbers here are actually the patents, okay, for all our products. So to prove that this thing, it can't be copied by someone else, okay, because we got patented to it. Okay, and they also did this independent clinical studies with Torrid Laboratories, okay, to find that ASEA is actually scientifically proven to increase the signaling in 5 important genetic pathways by 31%. And it is actually a double-blind study. So a lot of people will ask me, wow, what is this? What genetic pathway so cheap? Don't know what the hell is that. Sure, let me just go through just one gene. Okay, this 31% affecting this one gene already affects 15 different pathways. Okay, what are these pathways? Let us see. Okay, like pathway 1 can affect you in your mood. Okay, pathway 2, memory, depression, dementia. Pathway 3, high blood pressure, diabetes, sleeping disorder. Pathway 4, okay, involves the antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, cancer prevention, eliminate harmful substances in our body. Okay, that's very important, especially for now. Number 5, okay, anti-tumor. Number 6, promotes stem cell function. Number 7, for all the ovarian infertility issues, okay, and ovarian tumors, etc. Okay, and then pathway 8, okay, we skip that, that's very cheap. And pathway 9, we have inhibit tumor production. 10 is thyroid function. 11 is diabetes. 12 is sudden infant death syndrome. 13 is spinal cord injury. 14 is antiviral or anti-tumor. Or 15 is metabolism, cancer, cardiovascular disease, inflammation, and reproductive abnormalities. So only one gene already affects so many areas of your health. Okay, what about all 5 of them? All of them improving by 31%. Can you imagine how good is that for the body? So basically, redox signaling molecules helps in many, many areas. Okay, it not only helps in, clearing away the bad stuff, it also helps in, replacing and growing new cells. Okay, And most importantly, right, it actually is completely native to the body. Okay, and this means that this will not cause any damage to your body at all because it is completely safe and there's zero toxicity. Okay, and the fact is that if let's say you are a sports person, okay, it can actually improve your athletic performance. And if you have a lot of inflammation and so on, the antioxidant efficiency can be boosted up to 500 to 800% in 72 hours. So these are the many improvements that you can get with the ASEA Redox. So let me just quickly go through the athletic breakthrough. So ASEA, in the athletics perspective, it will empower athletes to experience improvements in endurance, strength, recovery, and mental stamina. Okay, and because ASEA Redox is made from salt and water, it does not contain any banned substances. So we even tested on mice. The mice who drank the Redox for only 7 days actually ran 29% more, okay, before they collapsed from exhaustion. Okay, so we actually sponsored many international athletes, okay, to drink ASEA, and many of them actually improved tremendously and got gold medals in the Olympics with the help of ASEA, and these are some of them. Okay, if you're interested in this area, you can search this website, ASEAathletes.co. You can see all their stories there. Okay, so other than the liquid, we also have this gel called Renault 28. So based on the independent clinical studies that was done, okay, over 4 weeks by Stephens and also this original excellent derma test. This is a German company. It's called 5starguarantee.de. You can search for them. They are very highly esteemed so-called checking center, okay, in Germany about all things related to skin, okay, derma test, right? So we got 5 stars. Why? Because after applying for 4 weeks, i.e. 28 days, you'll get 16% skin cell renewal, 23% smoothness, okay, 23% improvement in wrinkles, 20% increase in elasticity, okay, and 50% more blood flow within 15 minutes of applying, okay. So this blood flow, let me share this quick testimonial with one of my partners. She actually went for chemo for invasive cell growth on her breast. So after doing the chemo and stuff, her lymph nodes was blocked. So her entire arm was orange in color, deep orange, because of poor blood circulation. And for months, she feels like, pins and needles, and it was very uncomfortable. She couldn't even raise her hand. She took one $50 note, the $50 note dropped on the floor. She couldn't even control her fingers. So when I took the gel and just applied onto her arm, generously, because it's the whole arm, for 3 times, after applying for 3 times, within 15 minutes, all the blood came flowing back to her orange arm. Okay, that was the first most amazing so-called blood flow so-called incident that I've seen that happened the fastest because her whole arm was really orange, i.e. no blood. So when I applied, 15 minutes later, her left arm looked pink and fresher than her other arm and her legs. Okay, her left arm that's been orange for months, right, suddenly look more fresh, okay, and more healthy than any of her other limbs. Okay, so that was one that I saw. So many people also report benefits from applying Renew 28 to areas of their joints and muscle discomfort by applying 3 times in 5 minutes. Okay, so if there are any new people here today, okay, you're actually entitled to this a mini sample gel, okay, from the person who invite you. So please make sure that you inform them that you're here so you can get this gel and try for yourself, okay. All the areas of joint and muscle discomfort, apply 5 minutes 3 times and see. Before you start, you measure, okay, upon 10, how pain is it? And then after you apply 3 times in 5 minutes, within 15 minutes again, you measure, you feel again, how's the pain, okay, so you can experience it for yourself. So Renew Advanced, right, is the world's first and only redox-based skincare system. And basically, we have the whole set to cleanse, repair, replenish, Okay, there's no parabens and sulfates and so on and so forth. But only this white color tube and this blue color tube has redox signaling molecules. The cleanser is just a cleanser. The replenishment moisturizer is a moisturizer that complements our redox signaling molecules. So so there are some improvements here that was seen: 100% improvement in lines, 95% improvement in smoothness, 85% blah 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 blah. These are all numbers. Let's see some pictures, okay? This is my friend, okay, one of my team members. When he first came to listen to my sharing, I let him use the whole set. So after using and washing, okay, his face actually looks quite clean and bright, okay. But he said, you know, I'm a man. I'm not going to use all these different products. Wow, 4 or 5 steps, so troublesome. I'm only going to get the gel, okay. And I'm going to experiment and test because I don't believe you. Okay, I will make sure that I will see nothing in 28 days. You say 28 days, right? Okay, then I'll do this experiment for 28 days to prove that you're wrong. So he really did the experiment every day for 28 days, twice a day, once in the morning, once at night, he applied onto his face. And this was the face that he got 28 days later, which you can see his eye bags actually improved. Okay, the glow in his face also improved, looks more pink. Okay, not so so-called puffy over here. Okay, you see the close up, even the pores has gone smaller. Okay, so it's much more fresher. It looks younger after 28 days. So basically this gel and this water, the gel is to help you from outside in. The liquid Acia Redox is helping you from inside out. Okay, so it's a two-way thing. So for issues like this, varicose veins, this lady drank and applied for 5 months, and you can see her varicose veins has gone. Okay, varicose veins is a common issue for ladies, especially if they sit cross-legged all the time and wear high heels. Okay, so the ugly varicose veins actually disappeared. And then this is my own auntie. Okay, she's a pioneer generation, i.e. she's 70 plus, specific 71. So she drank and she applied, but because she's always on a budget, so she only drank the minimum maintenance dosage, which is about 1 case a month, and she drank for about 2 years. I took the picture, I compared with this picture that she had on her Facebook in 2014. Okay, then after 2 years later, plus 2 more years of drinking, this is her in just a few weeks ago. So you can see her skin was leathery and crumpled, and now it's like all pink and soft, all the elasticity you can see on her face. This is the power, how it can help older people, right, achieve youth and beauty at a much more reasonable price than going for surgery or, you know, all the other injections that you can have. And you can also use on new and old scars. This gentleman on the left is my cousin who had a fall of last month. Okay, so he actually had to stitch. Okay, I immediately gave him a tube to try, okay, for his face to help to resolve this problem. And then after 1 tube, his face actually changed a lot. Okay, his face actually, his eye bags improved, and then his face actually felt much more better. So he said, okay, I'm going to get this, send me some more. Okay, and this young lady here, she's 7 years old when she first started applying the gel, but she had this accident when she was 3. She had a car accident and her whole face was cut. So this was her before she started, and then after applying the gel for 1 tube, okay, you can see that her scar actually has sunken in a little, not so obvious, okay, because it's growing and changing the cells. So if you have any old scars, you can try on them as well. It also works very well for those what do you call that, the surgery to take the baby out. I suddenly forgot that word. Yeah, I think the ladies will know. So, and the stretch marks and related to childbirth, those are all very helpful. Let me just share this one special photo I got from my cousin just yesterday. So he has already used for 28 days as of yesterday, and this is his effect. Okay, after 28 days of cell renewal, now he looks like this. Okay, his eye bags improved tremendously. Okay, skin whitening and so on. Oh, C-section. Okay, yeah, it helps with the C-section scars. It helps with stretch marks. It helps with skin elasticity, and you can see it helped him with skin whitening as well. So from dark, not so dark, wow, now white lah. He's very, very happy with his results. And that is just 28 days. Okay, for him, he applied more intensively. He applied 3 times a day because he wanted to remove the scar on his forehead. Okay, so this is another issue that we have, right? For people with excessive glucose in the blood. Okay, usually when a person get to the point of the first picture on the left, okay, the next step is to amputate. Okay, but this person was very, very lucky to be able to introduce to a seer at that point of time. So this person drank and applied the gel around this wound, okay, to let the healthy cells grow into the unhealthy cells. Okay, and 5 months later, you can see the improvement. This is also another excessive glucose in blood related problem. Okay, basically there was a rotting into the flesh infection. Okay, and with a sear, you can see the growth of the flesh back to the skin. But this is a picture of a person who did not drink a sear, and the recovery actually had 1 hole. Okay, so this you can see, like, you know, the great difference of having the signaling will definitely help you improve much better. So I'll just do this quickly with about our senior, or rather leader in Australia. This lady here, this picture was taken let me think, is it 2 years ago? Okay, she came to Singapore, and then she shared with us about her story. When she was young, she was often sick, okay, with many health problems. Okay, and later on she started having an invasive cell problem on the skin. Okay, she did many operations to remove those invasive rogue cells, okay, off the face, but then it just keep coming back and keep coming back. So what the doctor did was that, okay, maybe it's time for you to use a chemo cream. Okay, so she used the chemo cream, and this is what she got. Basically, all the red spots, all this ugly stuff, this is all the rogue cells. Okay, it didn't improve her life at all, and she was very, very upset. Then the doctor said, okay, then I change another cream for you. And what happened was that it got laggy worse. Okay, there was all this inflammation and pus, and it was making her life much worse. And she was so frustrated, she complained online. And then someone introduced her the gel. Okay, at that time in Australia, they don't have the liquid, they don't have the sear redox. So she just applied the gel, and then she applied for 12 months. Okay, at the start 12 months, and then her skin actually was fully recovered. Okay, and she also shared with us that, you know, at that point of time when she started, she actually have osteoporosis, the thinning of bones. Okay, so in 2015, her results were still thinning. Okay, 2016 it went down some more. By 2017, her numbers was the same, and then by 2018, the number actually went up by 1.8. So I asked her, do you eat any like calcium or any all those other things that the doctors will give for this problem? Then she said no. Actually, she only took a sear with regards to her bone problem. Okay, so she believed that it was a sear that helped her keep in all the calcium from the food that she was taking, okay, to help with her thinning bones. Okay, and let us take a look of how she looks now. Okay, this was 2 years ago. Okay, and this is her picture in July. She looks much more younger and fresher, and this is the truth. We all live and die on a cellular level. So ASEA is the only company in this world that can provide the materials, i.e. these vitamins and minerals, and the workers, this on the right, all the stuff with redox signaling molecules for your cellular health. You can eat as much tonic, good herbs, vitamins, minerals, but if your cells do not have this signaling function, you can eat all the fancy, expensive herbs, ginseng and whatnot, it will all just come out as expensive food. Because your cells cannot receive it. Your brain don't even know that your cells are sick. Okay, then you cannot even process your tonics, your medication, or even your food properly. Okay, so this is the only way to help your cells recover on its own. Okay, without any side effects or any toxins from all those medications from the Western medicine. So I will ask you this one question. If you can get your health back to save yourself and others, break even and even make money, why not? Okay. So if you decide to invest in this business, but then you didn't share this business, maybe because you're lazy, maybe because you're shy, no problem. What you get back is your health and your youth. If you invest in this business and you just share in your leisure time or using a seer, okay, what you get back is your health and your youth at a cheaper price. And if you actively share while you're using a seer, what you get back is your health, youth, and your wealth. This is for your consideration. I will not cover more about the products or the compensation. Please ask the person who has invited you here today. This is our ASEA founder, Vertis Norton, and this is one important line that he told all of us, which is we are at the start of something big with a great purpose, and right now is the moment that we can begin influencing the future. We can change the world. Thank you very much.